आम पीस एंड हार्मोनी डिसिप्लिन कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट थोड़ा सब पढ़ी आज से टॉपिक गोटे पढ़ा इनक्वारी कहते डोमेस्टिक इनक्वारी इनक्वारी कौन ये सब जिन तुम टिके आइडिया थी जेकोसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने जेकोसी काम कले जदि किसी गोटे प्रोब्लेम हो तुम देख तुम जो कंपनी काम करफिस काम कर किसी के प्रोब्लेम कला किसी मिसकंडक्ट कला किसी मिसबिहेवियर कला किसी माने लॉस कला कंपनी तुम पनिशमेंट दब पनिशमेंट केमी दब यू हैव टू डू ए प्रॉपर इंक्वायरी and this is a very sensitive topic. Suppose तुम गोटे भूल कल you have done something wrong in your work. So whoever is inquiry, whoever is the inquiry body, whoever is doing the investigation, that person should do the justice in the right way. Whether you have done knowingly or unknowingly or you don't have proper training to do the mistake. गोटे एग्जांपल देख जो रेलवे एक्सीडेंट है महानगर ओडिशा रे जो बड़ा एक्सीडेंट है डेफिनेटली इट्स ए ह्यूमन एरर और किंतु जो लोकटा काम कर कौन जानी शुणी से कौन ट्रेन टा को मारिदेवा कि लोक करते किसी गोटे कम हो कौन हो जे इनक्वारी कर प्रॉपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर प्रोब्लेम हो प्रोसेस रे प्रोब्लेम हो training re and the system is wrong, something is wrong. So the investigation person, whoever doing the investigation, whoever is the inquiry officer, they should have lot of experience, lot of exposure in that. Any person is doing any problem, any misconduct, suppose office जन किसी चोरी नहीं गला किसी गोटे जिन भूल करदेला कि मिसबिहेव कला कौन से एम्प्लॉय को किसी गोटे मिसबिहेव से तुम इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर लोक को पनिशमेंट दब कौन में प्रोब्लेम है बेस्ड ऑन दैट you will punish him. There are different types of punish. How will you notify the person whoever has done the misbehavior, misconduct? You have notified that person to charge it. There are different rules. So we'll study that. First, we understand what is domestic inquiry. This is there in your course. It is the inquiry of employee by employer. Kahar inquiry was the employee. जे काम भूल करुच्ची वर्कमैन तार इनक्वारी हो बाय एम्प्लॉयर अबाउट हिज मिसकंडक्ट से जहाँ भूल कर तार इनक्वारी हो इट इंटरनल और हाउस होल्ड इनक्वारी कंपनी रे कौन कौन भूल इंटरनल दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड डोमेस्टिक इनक्वारी इट इज इंटरनल और हाउस होल्ड इनक्वारी ऑफ मिसकंडक्ट कमिटेड बाय workmen, therefore it is called domestic inquiry. So this investigation, this inquiry is always internal in-house. हिंदी कह जाए घरेलू जांच ने डोमेस्टिक इनक्वारी माने केते लोक कहते घरेलू जांच within your organization, within your department, you are doing the investigation. In brief, the inquiry held within the industry to inquire into misconduct and punish workmen through fair process and domestic. So whatever you are doing investigation, you are doing in a fair way. That's what I told you. You have to investigate the fault, not the person. Suppose मु गोटे ऑफिस रे काम करछि मु गोटे बदमाश लोक मु गोटे चोर मु कौन गोटे चोरी कर ऑफिस you should not decide that I have done that. You are you have rights to investigate whether I have done that properly or not, or why by mistake I have done it or not. So you cannot decide that this person used to do the mistake always. So maybe this time that person, same person is doing a mistake. ଏ ପିଲାଟା ଗୋଟେ ଚୋର, ଇଏ ଚୋରି କରିଥିବ, ତେଣୁ ତାକୁ ପନିଶମେଣ୍ଟ ଦିଅ। ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଦ ରାଇଟ୍ ୱେ। ହୁଏତ ମୁଁ ଆଗରୁ ଚୋରି କରିଥାଇପାରେ, ହୁଏତ ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଭଲ ହେଇଥାଇପାରେ। You have done proper investigation, then only you can decide the punishment. That is the meaning of inquiry, domestic inquiry. Why it is domestic inquiry? It is within that organization, within that department, within that company. So that is the reason it is called domestic inquiry. There are different process, different steps involved in it. So as I told you, so a person is doing mistake, then you have to notify him, you have to investigate him, you have to declare the punishment. The same thing is written here in the next slide. Inquiry process. How you will do the inquiry? You have to gather the evidence, you have to plan it, you have to gather the evidence and notify the respondent, confer with the complaint. You have to get the confirmation from the person, whoever complaining the person. Confirm with the respondent, decide whether to handle inquiry personally or Carmen panel. So it depends on the volume or the degree of misconduct is the problem. If the company, if a person is doing a small mistake or a big mistake, so based on that you will decide whether inquiry is required or not. So it's all based on the volume of mistake, inquiry, degree of mistake. Then you will establish the inquiry. Based on the inquiry report, next thing will come, you will notify, you will punish the person. So these are the process behind the inquiry. What exactly you are going to inquire? So appointment of the inquiry officer, whoever going to inquiry. There are a lot of things. Suppose you are working in the sales department. You have done a mistake. You have misbehaved to a client. You are working as sales representative. You are misbehaving a client. But the inquiry officer should not be from your team, your department. If one sales manager is your inquiry officer, and that person is not liking that client, then you will be safe. If a person who is from other department is doing the inquiry, then that person will do more justice. So that is why I told that one experienced person is required. These are very sensitive issue. You cannot ask anyone to inquire. You have to understand what is the why the issue happened, what are the genuine cause behind it, whether that person is doing it knowingly, unknowingly. All these things will come out of inquiry. These are the process behind inquiry. The process of conducting domestic inquiry is typically involved in the following steps. In the previous slide, we read it little bit. Same thing. When you are going for investigation, going for inquiry, you have to notify a person. How will notify? That is a different thing. We'll go through it in the another slide. So you will notice to the person through charge sheet. How will write charge sheet? Those things will understand. Then gathering. Evidence is gathered from witness and other sources, and the employee is given the opportunity to present their own evidence and argument. Whoever has done the mistake, so that person can give his own evidence from his own employee, own department. Then hearing. Once you are done with your investigation in your inquiry, you have to tell your opinion. The employee is given a fair and impartial hearing. Based on that hearing, so the main decision will come. Suppose your inquiry report is telling this person is guilty, has done some guilt. This person is guilty, suppose. That then you will decide the punishment. There are different types of punishment. So all these things will come, we'll go through it. So hearing is one steps in inquiry process. The first thing will notify, then you will collect the evidence. Collect the evidence means you will listen from both the side, listen from management, listen from the employee who has done what. Then you collect the evidence, you listen from witness who has seen the issues. Then based on that, you will prepare your inquiry report. Then you will give the hearing. Based on your hearing, you will decide the punishment. कोर्ट रे आमे शुणी जंदी हियरिंग थाए हियरिंग माने कोन शुणानी हियरिंग इज नथिंग बट ए decision what the judges has decided based on the witness evidence whatever collected from both the party. Based on that you will decide you will take the decision, you will punish the party. These are very common issues, common thing in your day-to-day life. Whenever you are working in an organization, you must have seen this kind of problem. Suppose management is deciding a person to pay less or a person to terminate from the job or a person to have 1 month or 2 months without pay. So why this kind of, these are nothing but punishment. So the outcome of this is that person has done some mistake and there was some inquiry and based on that inquiry this kind of punishment is coming. So you must have seen this kind of issues while working in your home, in your class, in your circle, in your friend circle, in your day-to-day life. So whatever I am telling may be the bigger issue, the bigger punishment, you must have seen a small thing. At your home, suppose you have done mistake, you have done something, you have not done your homework today. Because even in the school days, you are not done homework. So what will happen? The teacher will give more homework, or the teacher will inform to your parents. So something will happen. So if that will happen, you will follow the rules regularly. You will do the homework next time properly. That is one small example. Or in school, suppose you have taken the books from one person. So your teacher came to know that you have stolen the books from other person. The person complained. So your teacher will do the proper investigation. Why you will steal? You don't have that book, or you are greedy, or something else. Then based on that, you will decide what is required, what is not required. So that is another example of inquiry. There is one concept, natural justice. What is the principle of natural justice? Because this inquiry, all these things happen around natural justice. What is natural justice? Principles of natural justice. This person should have an opportunity to know the allegation against him. Suppose you are blaming one person, you are you are charging one person, you are telling that you have done a mistake. That person has all rights to know why he is blamed, why he is charged, why you are putting allegation on him. That person should have an opportunity to know the allegation. What was the allegation? What was the problem? So he should ask, he should know. So whenever you are charging that person, you are giving a charge sheet with a written information. So I told you sometime back, you are notifying that person. So from that notice, he should know everything written. Then he should be given a fair opportunity of being heard. So whenever you are telling or deciding or listening to the witness, or, or informing that person you have done that mistake, that person should have enough opportunity to hear your voice. He should be given fair opportunity for being heard. That means that person is listening to each and every steps what you are doing. You cannot do anything by keeping quiet. You cannot do and you cannot charge a person by doing something, by asking something. Decision should be made in good faith. Based on all inquiry, you are deciding a person, the punishment or the penalty of the person with all good faith. So you are going against the fault, not the person. So it is a fault finding exercise. It is a not the person. You are not blaming the person. Suppose I have done a mistake. The company incurred some loss. So you are the inquiry officer. You are inquiring the loss, the mistake, not me, not me as a person. So maybe I am doing wrong. So your job is to investigate what is that wrong I did. And whenever you are doing the investigation, whenever you are deciding something, whenever you are punishing You are punishing me because of that mistake. You are not punishing me because you don't like. So that means decisions should be made in good faith. So that is your job. You are doing your work based on the instruction, whatever the policy, whatever the duty you are supposed to do, you are doing the same thing. A man should not be judged on his own cause. That is what I told. So, sometimes back I was giving one example. Maybe I have done mistake in the past. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଚୋର ତା ମାନେ ନୁହେଁ ଯେ ମୁଁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଚୋରି କରୁଥିଲି ମୁଁ କେବେ ଚୋରି କରିଥିଲି you cannot judge based on my experience, based on my own cause. Suppose I have done a mistake, not necessarily I will do the same mistake again now. So your job is to investigate why I have done this. That could be one reason for your investigation, but you cannot decide something based on that experience, based on that cause. So these are the natural justice. So this investigation, this inquiry is completely based on the natural justice. This domestic inquiry is actually completely based on the natural justice. Whenever you are inquiring, whenever you are doing the proper investigation, so that person is given the enough opportunity to know the mistake, know the punishment, hear the decision, and whatever you are deciding, you are allowing him to know. So that is something called natural justice. There are remaining 2-3 slides in this topic. We'll go through it. We'll take a quick break now. Maybe 29. Okay, 11:29. After 5 minutes, we can join in the same link, and then we can finish this. One topic will finish. Okay, we'll join after 5 minutes.